first pike fishing session, woo, of 2020/21. I'm on the Erne. It's should be a nice clear day. The weather forecast gives there to be some rain, but not heavy rain, and it gives it to have some wind. Again, it shouldn't be wind that we should be worrying about, but it's Northern Ireland. You don't trust the weatherman. So let's roll that intro. Let's see what today brings, eh? The more astute people that watch my vlogs will notice something new. In fact, roll video clip. It's getting close to the time of year that I enjoy it the most. Pike fishing time. However, before I get starting, certain things have to change. I get comments an awful lot about my hat. This hat. This hat's covered in various patches. Now, some people hate the hat, some people like the hat. Some people want to do something similar for their own fishing. However, this hat, I've had this hat for 4 years, and the elastic that holds it to your head is pretty much shot. So it's okay if you're sitting talking to people, you know, or sitting in a chair having a cup of coffee, it's fine. But if you're unhooking a fish and your kind of head's off balance, the thing tends to go fucking whoop. Last time it went whoop into the bloody loch, and I had to fish it out of the landing net. So the hat is getting replaced with this hat. It's just another beanie hat with a peak. The only problem I have to do now is take off all these patches and badges and shit, so do this one. So, being a trendsetter, here is the new 2020/21 season pike hat. And here's what it looks like when I've sewn all the badges on. Ta-da! All these patches have been stitched on. Some of them were previously Velcro that you can tear off and tear back on, just basically so I could put different patches on the hat. But since I never really changed the patches, I thought, you know, balls to that, I'll just stitch them on. This was obviously the next day. I've now no feeling in my fingertips from sticking needles through into the hat, through the patches, and sticking myself on the other side. But this is how you turn a cheap woolly hat into a awesomely sexual woolly hat. Here's the old one. It started off kind of the same similar sort of colour to this. It started off like a dark greens and browns, but over the years it's just kind of went grey. So it's time to retire this, and let's see if this brings me luck this year. Well, it didn't take long. Haven't even got time for a cup of coffee, and I have one. This is the new landing net that I was on about, with the extended or collapsing arms. Oh, right. Let's see what we can see. It's not a very big fish, it's only a little jack.
This one came to a perch section, and as you can see, she's just hooked in the scissors there. Oh my gosh, she's hooked there. Oh, and she's hooked in the side here. Let's just get this out. And we'll put that down there. She's had a bit of an accident, something, or it could be he. Not a very big fish. I wouldn't even think it's a double. I mean, there's the calm down. There's the scales for comparison. So let's get her back. And away she goes. And the worse for wear. We're off the mark. So here we are, first pike angling session of the year, and it's not a blank. We have started with a fish, only a jack, but still a fish. Came on a little popped up perch. I have 3 rods out. They're ledger tactics, or running ledger as you would know. Eeltail, big rainbow trout, about a quarter of a pound. Well, not a big rainbow trout, but it's a rainbow trout about a quarter of a pound, and another perch. It's good to be back pike fishing. I have missed it. I really have missed it. Don't get me wrong, I like the coarse angling and throwing feeders, but to me, this is angling. I can sit here, I can make a cup of coffee, and catch pike. Great. Awesome times. The loch's actually up a bit. I don't think it makes much of a difference. We can all remember this time last year, right about last year, where this place was underwater. It was about 3 foot, it was about 3.5, maybe 4 foot deep where I'm sitting now. Midweek angling sessions. Gotta love them. So how are you all coping with the potential news that we might be getting locked down again? I live in Northern Ireland. Here they've left it up to the control of the local councils, which scares me, because a lot of these people couldn't organise a beer fart in a brewery. COVID-19. Even big Donald Trump has the Rona. I seen a bit of a cartoon, it really made me laugh. It had the Donald Trump and the other fella, the one with dementia, Biden, and it had underneath it the caption, "Even Corona chose Trump over Biden."
A few moments later.
So a wee bit of a breeze has kicked up. Another angler came and launched his boat, and he's away that way. He watches the stuff on YouTube, so hello, if you see the video, give us a thumbs up. I was originally going to fish on the lower loch, but when I got down to where I was fishing, there was people there, so I drove to here, which is the lower loch, kind of opposite ends of the system. The wind is nice and fresh. I can see clear blue skies, apart from some small cloud that direction, but I'm not sure if it's going to come over my way. If this wind stays the way it is, I'm going to be happy enough. You know, it's not unfishable, it's not something you could surf on. I'm going to have my sausage muffin and a mug of coffee. I got enough pressure in it to make a brew. Woo! Oh. I'm going to show you something in a minute. Once I've ate this, I'm going to go out and spice up my bits a bit. I have a schoolboy earlier. I didn't fill my sugar thing, so I have enough for one more cup of coffee and that's about it. Have to buy sugar. He's all sick of the corona bullshit. I love this. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Masks are good for you, masks are bad for you. Wear a mask. Stay in, go to work. Send your kids to school, but don't have more than 6 people there. Otherwise the police are going to come and talk to you. It'd be lovely if people had a clue what they were doing. How's the general public meant to follow all these damn rules when they change every 5 minutes? We still have these loons in London turning up for these, you know, Extinction Rebellion and BLM and all that shit. Coronavirus mustn't affect them, but it stops me getting in to watch a football match. I could swear. Bugger. But it is what it is. We're stuck with the idiots that voted in. It's our fault, really. That China's fault. That eating sons of bitches. I try not to be political in these videos, I really do. But Jesus wept. We don't have half some idiots in charge of this country.
Just then.
And we're in number 2 fish of the day. This one is on the big rainbow trout, or big-ish rainbow trout. Hasn't really started to fight back yet. Okay. Oh, it's fighting back. That looks a better fish. Let's get it in the net, shall we? Come on. There we go. That looks better. I might actually weigh this one. It looks to be almost a double. Yeah, I'm going to weigh this one. I'm going to unhook it first, then put it in the weigh sling. Definitely weighing this one. Let me put you back on my head. Whoop. Right. Let's get it unhooked. Straight in the scissors. Just what we want. Nice, this is what happens when you're on the roads quick. Right. Let's get this net moved out of here. That looks to be a nice. Come on, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down. That looks a better fish, guys. That looks, I'm nearly going to say that might be pushing on 20. Might be pushing on 20. Right, so let's get it into this here. Oh boys, this is a 20. If it's not 20 pound, it's very not far off it. Right, let's put it in the water. Not waistling, we'll keep it. That'll keep it safe till we get the. I think that's the first 20 of the year. Let me just get it all sorted up here. I'll go and get my tripod, get the scales, and we'll weigh her, and then we'll take pictures. Right, this is today's setup. Running ledger to a trace to a bait. This is a rainbow trout. I cut the tails off so they don't spin in the water. But let's get this out, and then we'll worry about getting this other fish. We'll worry about getting it weighed, shall we? And that's what's on the bottom. It's very deep here. Come on, there we go. Let's just turn you off. What she weighs. Seventeen pounds. Oh well, not a bad start to the year. First double. Get a quick look at her and then slip her back. Calm down, boy, calm down, girl. Isn't she a beauty? Isn't she a chunky monkey? Let's just get a quick photograph. And then let's get her slipped back. turned up the right way fish. Isn't she a beauty? There she goes. That ain't so bad. £17 on the nose. I actually thought she was bigger when I lifted the net up. I thought she would have just about pushed 20. With £17, not arguing. Not arguing at all. The wind stepped up a little bit. There's a few more white horses coming down the lough. But that's number 2 fish for the day. Loads of time to catch some more. I was actually going out onto the jetty there to inject oil into them, and the pike picked up the bait just as I picked up the rod, so that was a stroke of luck. So I wired out another rainbow trout. The only difference now with this rainbow trout that I put out, I filled it full of basically it's boilies, sticks. I roll them into pencils and then you break them up and you stick them into their belly. I don't know why I'm doing this. You kind of understand what you do. When you get your rainbow trout from the fish farm or wherever you get them, if you let them purge for a couple of days before you knock them on the head, or you ask the guy that's supplying them to, you know, set yours aside, let them purge so their belly cavities are empty, that's good. If you can't do that, then you can get what's called a marrow spoon, which goes into their stomach and scoops out what they've ate. But reared trout are reared on pellets and that stinks, so don't do that. Just ask the fish keeper or wherever you're buying them from if he would purge them for a couple of days before give them to you. Most guys are fine with it, but it leaves their bellies empty, so you can push the basically boilies that pop up. When you're making them, you make them with a lot of cork dust, so they're very, very, very buoyant, and the fish end up very, very buoyant. Now, I use boilies because basically it's egg, cork dust, and, you know, semolina flour or coconut flour, but the pike can digest it. If you stick a balsa wood stick into its mouth, sure it'll float, but if that trout comes off and it still has the balsa wood stick in its mouth, the pike isn't going to be fit to pass the balsa wood stick. So you got to think about these things. You know, the test ultimately is, would you eat a balsa stick? You know, okay, you wouldn't eat a boilie either because chances are they're going to taste disgusting, but if you did eat boilies, they're going to pass through your system. They're not going to cause you any problems. They might not just taste the best, but they're not going to cause you any problems. Because there's cork dust in them, you might have a turd that floats, but it can be passed. That's why I do that. It's always about the thinking, you know, about the fish's health. Like that fish, obviously, when I struck into that, the bait had obviously come off, so that fish could be sitting, you know, or that bait could be sitting, could have been in its throat, it could have been swallowed during the fight, or it could have been left on the bottom of the lough, so another fish could pick it up. You know, you don't want to do stuff that's going to cause damage. It's like if you get snagged and you pull for a break, you basically want strong enough gear that you're going to straighten out your treble hooks and your trace. The last thing any pike angler wants to do is leave a baited trace in the water. It's not what you want at all. So that's today's tip. Oh, another one. When you're weighing your fish, you know, I like Reuben Hedon's. These are the best scales on the market. I have had these for years, and every year I calibrate them. I will zero them, and I will hang a 5 pound iron butcher weight on them. And every year that spins right round to 5, there isn't a beat out of it. These are bomb-proof. You can get electronic scales, but the chances are you're going to need them. The batteries will run out. Whereas this doesn't run out of batteries. It's dead easy to use and dead easy to see. When you're going to weigh your fish, I like a tripod because I usually fish by myself. I like a tripod because I can put the tripod up, put the scales in the tripod, hang the fish on the scales and weigh it that way. Before you do all this, it's important. Like these scales at the minute, I don't know if you can see them, but the needle's sitting at about 27 pounds. I know that my waistling, when it's soaking wet, weighs 3 pounds. So when I hang the waistling on this, it'll go to 0. So anything after that is the weight of the pike. So that pike was 17 pounds. If I didn't zero these to my waistling, that pike would have weighed 20 pounds, but I would have had to take the 3 pounds off to find the true weight. I just find it doing it easier this way. You know, each to their own. I'm not out here to, you know, to cheat anybody. I'm not out here to do camera tricks and say, oh Jesus, look, I caught a 20 pounder. I'm happy as hell, I've got 2 fish today. For me, the weights don't matter so much. It's getting out and fishing that matters to me. Did you all enjoy the video about the new hat? See, I spoil yous. I know I spoil yous. Right there. Just had a boat wipe out 2 rods. Fucking idiot. Moron. Decides to buzz the jetty. You absolute prick. So managed to get everything back though, thankfully. I swear these boat people, it's like they don't see anglers. You know, they just think, ah, there's an angler, you know, up him, I'm gonna fucking land my boat right on top of his rod pod. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see him. That prick there. Didn't even have the manners to say sorry. Just laughed. I'd have loved for him to moor the boat on the jetty. See how much laughing he does then. Anyway, something productive, shall we say. I've bought one of these Corda compact boxes. It's like a plasticky box, but it is easy to clean, and it holds all my oils and my needles. All the needles and the syringes are in a plastic box for very obvious reasons, because needles are crap when you get them stuck into you, and these here are just oils and flavourings. I'm a big fan of oils and flavourings, dyes for fish. I know every year we have the discussion, do pike smell oil? Does it make any difference? Blah blah blah. The way I look at it, it doesn't do any harm. So, what's the problem? Some people would argue that it's the pike can't smell them. Pike don't smell oil, that's not how pike's noses work, and blah blah blah. But if you get something like a sardine and you squeeze it underwater, there's a lot of oil that comes out of a sardine, and the pike will happily munch a sardine. So I'm there thinking the pike must smell something. Whether it's been watered down by the fish's guts and the blood and stuff like that there, I don't know. But I know that the pike do smell, they do hunt by smell. So injecting a bait with a little bit of fish oil, or taking your syringe needle and punching a load of holes in the belly of the bait, or the head of the bait, to release out the natural oils and the bloods, that works. I've had lots of success doing that. I often stab the head of the bait, and especially if it's a bigger bait like a mackerel or a big trout or something like that, straight through into the brain cavity and wiggle the knife a little bit, so that the blood in the head holds the most blood in the bait, and it'll just leak out into the swim. Now it's a bit of a rare day because the wind's pushing everything that way, but the flow is going that way. So trying to see an oil slick from a bait, you know, isn't so easy. But I've given the perch 5 mils of sardine oil just to kind of help it on its way. Well, that's the bait, injected full of love. still dry, although I got some black clouds rolling in on the horizon, so oh, we're getting a nibble. It might just be the wind. It probably is the wind. This is the beauty of the alarm system that I use, the Delcom TXIs. You can have the rods set and you can like, sit back here and chill out in the van like I am. And anything that knocks the line and triggers the alarm, it bleeps up here. Now my rod pod, I have that as a red light, so when I see a red light, I know my rod pod's the one that's going. I have white and I have blue and I have purple. So if I was fishing at night time, which by the way I'm planning to do more do bivvy sessions this winter. So if I'm in the bivvy and I have this sat on a table and you see that it's the purple light or the white light or the blue light or wherever, you kind of know which way to go out and go. I'm not so sure I'd fish here during the night time. This car park is it must be used by other social activities because there's quite a lot of condoms around the place. At least they're playing safe, I guess. I'm still furloughed, not back at work yet. That isn't so good. I'm actually looking forward to getting back into the rhythm and going to work again. I think I'm furloughed to the end of this month and I start back up again. Unless there's another lockdown. Northern Ireland's having a bit of a spike with the old Rona cases. So there might well be another lockdown. Which sucks. These people that don't understand the complexities of soap and water, that decide to go out and go to watch social events. It broke my heart the other day. There was a video online of a lady who was burying her husband. They'd been married for a lifetime, they'd been together their whole lives, and they were all spaced out in the church, the chapel of rest or wherever it was. I don't think it was a church. They were all spaced like 2 meters apart or 6 feet apart. And the lady was breaking her heart. And somebody pulled the chair closer to her to give her a hug. You know, extend that basic common decency of giving a grieving person a hug. And some Jobsworth prick came running out and says, no, you have to move your chairs 6 feet apart. I'm not so sure how I feel about that. I'll be honest. I'll be very honest. If it was one of my loved ones and that was the score, I think somebody could be getting slapped. Right. It's a little bit windy. And that big black cloud that's rolling in is giving it to be rain, so I think I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. I've anything on the eel today, which is unusual. Normally they like eel here. That's the eel today. working, Matt. I've had to lash it to the jetty. It's getting a bit too brutal, so I was kind of scared the dread'll get blown in. But what can you do? Just another day on the Erne. Right, I'm going to go through my running rig here. Here you have the trace. The trace is clipped up to an AFW clip and ball bearing swivel. Then you have a fox tulip bead. You have a cat fishing run ring style run ring. These are really heavy. I made it, this is the ceramic and it's got a little metal collar that goes around it. That's what I tie my rotten bottom. The rotten bottom is basically 12 or 10 pound mono, and there's knots in it, so if it gets snagged, then I can pull and break it. But that's my running rig setup. So you have the swivel, ball bearing swivel that you trace, the clip to clip it to. I like to fish with clips. That means it takes a second to change the trace. You just unclip it. You can unclip it in the net, as you see me do today. That's a ball bearing AFW swivel. Again, fox tulip bead. And this is just normal rig tubing. And I have about 2 feet of rig tubing. Why I have rig tubing is when this is on the bottom, the only part of the rig that touches the ground really is this rig tubing, the pike trace or the rotten bottom. So the zebra mussels can't really harm your pike trace. I mean, this is 45 pound AFW wire. It can't really harm that. It can't really harm your mono inside the rig tubing. And if you go to the very end of it, it'll be lifted up, but your rod tip will be high, so this will be kind of kept off the bottom. So any of the rig tubing that's on the deck, imagine this tabletop's the bottom. Any of this rig tubing that's touching the ground, the zebra mussels aren't fit to nip through it. I mean, they can nip through your weak link for your mono, for your lead. You don't mind losing lead, but you never want to leave your baited trace on the bottom. So, excuse me while I'm doing this, I'm just filming on my phone. So, that's a rundown of how I fish in Northern Ireland or in the south with a standard running ledger. It's just gone 6:15. I am taking a slow drive home. Or I would be if this vehicle would get out of the road and let me up the path, but I'm in no rush. Anyway, I'm going to take a slow drive up the road back down to Omagh. Been a good day, haven't blanked. Built quite a shopping list of stuff I have to replenish. First sessions of the year are kind of what I use to gauge what I need to go and get. So, I know what I need to get. That's good. You know, even down to the little simple things like making sure you bring enough sugar with you so you can have a couple of cups of coffee. But these are all wee things that you learn. We learn in experiences. I want to say thank you to everyone who's liked, shared, subscribed and left comments in the videos. It means an awful lot to me. It still blows my mind that there's as many of you as there are that come onto the channel and chat to me, or even come onto the Facebook and chat to me. You guys are, they're definitely awesome. As first sessions of the year go, it wasn't bad. I have a laundry list of stuff I need to get, as I mentioned. I didn't blank. I had my first double of the year, a really healthy 17 pounder. Let's be honest, in the depths of winter, come January and February time, that fish will easily be 20 pounds. Easily. It's got the body for it, it's got the body to carry it, it's got the head for it. So that fish, come February time, will be easily 20 pounds. So I'm not completely bummed that it was only 17 pounds. It was a nice healthy fish. I had a good day. Now I'm going to go home and I'm going to drink a beer or two. It would be nice, wouldn't it? Spoil myself. Anyway, cheers to everybody that's watching the videos. If you want to ask me any questions, get me in the comments or come across the Facebook page. Links is all in the descriptions. If you're asking questions about various fishing tackle that I use, links that should be in the description. Pike fishing stuff that I use should be in the description. But if you've got questions, ask me. I do try and get to them all. I do honestly try and answer all the comments. You know, but again, if I miss your comment, you know, don't think I'm being a dick. I've just missed it. You know, I do try and answer everybody's comments and questions. So until the next time, guys, tight lines. Right, we're going to fix the plunger on our stove. Now we should be taking it apart, emptying the fuel that's in it and all of that sort of stuff. For this sort of job you will need a Leatherman and some oil. And all you do, you take out the new plunger. It's the new, that's all it is. There's the new plunger. These are ancillary parts for lanterns and shit that you don't need, so you can throw them in the bin. Get rid of them somewhere. And then you get your pliers and you hold on to it and you just twist that there and this should pop out. Here we go. And as you can see, that's all, well, that's all cracked and worn. Yeah. Now this is now perish, so you bin this. This is the new one. Now to make the new one good, you take some oil and you just smear some oil around the front of the plunger. Just a little bit. You don't need to go mental. And just a little bit up and down here. Again, you don't need to go mental. Now the important bit here is you have to get the hole that's in this onto this. So like this, and then you just press it in nice and gently, and again then you just close that up. You use your pliers to close it. This is a bit awkward doing it one-handed. You should see a little click. There we go, there's the little click. And that is now fitted into the proper bit, and this is now a fully functioning, oh look at that, that's perfect. That is a fully working primer pump.